and welcome to another episode of PodCaster. I am Pete Quinnell. I was going to say your host again. I was going to say I was going to say I'm your host, and I was going to say I'm your co-host.
That was a real hesitation.
I stumbled.
It's been a Monday.
It has. Hi, I'm Pete. I'm joined by my co-host Liam.
Hi, I'm Liam. Sorry, I dated the podcast there. It's been a Monday.
It's fine. It goes out on a Tuesday. It's not unexpected that we record it a day before.
No. I mean, the main reason it's been a bit later, probably my fault, because the weather's been a bit crap, and I've just left it to the very last day. I was just like, man, maybe the weather will get better, and it's not. So I just had to walk here in the rain.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
How was your Monday been, Liam?
Been all right. Busy.
Yeah.
Busy time. We didn't play D&D this weekend.
We didn't.
So, didn't scratch the itch.
No.
So I've been thinking about D&D a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same.
Thinking about next steps for my campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about what could be happening in yours.
Yeah.
And then nearly rewrote a part of my campaign again.
Oh, really?
Nearly did. But I thought, no, it's pretty good as it is. I'm just rewriting it because I'm bored.
Yep.
The site, it's fine.
Yep.
Don't need to change it.
I've done that on many occasions.
Yeah.
Just being like, well, maybe if I did this.
Yeah, and you just change it.
Yeah, and then I didn't. Yeah, like you said, we for once, we didn't play D&D. All of our friends that we want to play with are all busy for the people in my campaign and in yours. So
I'm not going to play this weekend either.
Yeah, doubtful. Yeah, I don't think we're playing this weekend either. So
God.
2 weeks. 2 whole weeks, Liam, without D&D.
It's been a while since we've done that.
Been a while.
It's been a long while.
Yeah. God, it's been ages since we've not done properly. Like, even when we've not played for a weekend or something, we've still probably met up. And, like, me, you, and maybe one or two of our players will do some sort of, like, one-shot or, like, arena battle style thing. So we still get the D&D kick.
Yeah.
But this we've just not done anything.
We haven't done anything. And it's been, yeah.
Oh, it's weird is what it is.
Very.
Yeah. But something I've done... For people who follow my Twitch page, you might have seen, just kicked Liam there.
You did.
I did a little stream not long ago, twitch.tv/warcasterpq if you want to go check it out. Streamed a little Hero Forge, because now, if you don't know what Hero Forge is, it's a website where you can create minis and such, which are really, really cool, and then once you're happy with them, you can actually like buy them, get them shipped out and stuff. They've now got a colour version of everything. So I did a little stream where I coloured some of my minis that I've made. And it is awesome. God, the colour feature is so good. I just feel like it really brings the minis to life, like, properly. Really, like, breathes them a whole, like, new persona just based off the colour of them. Loved it. Loved it so much.
It's one thing I've neglected is my Hero Forge. I made, like, 2 characters on it. Haven't looked at it again. Yeah. I should go back to it now because it has colours. And I only play in one campaign.
That's true.
So I literally have 1 mini to make, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I could make minis for, Midas Touch.
Mm-hmm.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
If I have a spare time.
Yeah.
But I'd probably just get Dave to do it. I'd probably just be like, Dave, can you make these? This is what they look like.
Yeah, Dave's much more experienced with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I make the minis for a lot of, like, the important NPCs that you guys meet as well in my campaign. So I like to spend a little time. And I've actually... It's been, like, reverse character creation, because I've just been messing around on Hero Forge sometimes. And I'll see, like, a cool thing, and I'll be like, that'd be a cool thing. Maybe I can make a homebrew item out of this thing that looks cool. And then I'll just create a character out of this one thing that looks cool. And I'm like, that's a really cool idea. Thanks, Hero Forge.
Yeah.
Please sponsor us.
I do something similar. I find, like, concept art from, like, video games and, like, novels and stuff. And I just go, that's really cool. So I make a character based off of that. Yeah. I just go like, that's cool, and then I have that image in my mind as I make the character and just tweak a few things.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I'm thoroughly excited to delve more into Hero Forge at some point. Might do another stream at some point as well, if everyone's interested to come watch that. It's pretty cool, I think. But something else, actually, that I've done in D&D this week is actually, for the first time, I backed a Kickstarter.
Oh.
It's the first time I've ever done that.
I saw you tweet it.
Yeah.
You should follow us on Twitter.
You should. Mine's at Pete Quinnell.
I saw it. Mine's, I don't know, something.
Have you changed it yet?
Mine's on screen. It's at Unlawful Exile. I haven't changed it yet. I'm not going to.
All right.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You might do it at some
knows?
point. Who knows? But yeah, go follow us there. We tweet about stuff. Yeah, I backed a Kickstarter, which was, I believe it was a collaboration with Critical Dice and, oh no, I've forgotten, it's someone else. Oh, I feel terrible. It's Critical Dice and someone else did a collaboration, and they've essentially made the Deck of Stories. Which, funny enough, we were talking about last week about creating story hooks and things like that on the podcast. It's actually just a deck of cards, and each of them has like little story hooks on it. So if you ever want some inspiration, you just go through and just be like, cool, story hook. It's like the one that you mentioned before, there's a pyramid and there's hieroglyphs of you on it. It's stuff like that. It's like that one little sentence, just, okay, I've got a hook here. And even on some of them, you don't have to follow this ruling, of course, but it has they have an orc titling system is the way they've done it. So it's either like an O, an R, or a C, depending on whether it goes at beginning, middle, or end of a story.
Okay.
Or you can just use them however you want, however they fit in your story, but it's just like a guideline. Some could be like an O or a C, or this could be the start or the end, or this could be an R and a C for be like a middle or the end of the story.
I like that.
It's really, really cool. It's
yeah,
really
I like that
really
one.
cool. So I'd highly recommend checking them out on Kickstarter because, like I said, I backed it. I think it's a really cool idea for someone like me who really struggles to come up with unique story hooks and things like that. I think it's gonna be great. I'm definitely just gonna be like, I need something here. Let me get out my deck.
Yeah,
boom,
yeah.
What we got?
Yeah.
I'll have a look at it. Yeah, I'm thoroughly excited for it.
Not to make this the Pete talking 10 minutes, but you also done something else on YouTube as well, something that I wasn't allowed to watch.
Oh yeah, I did another video. Yay! For people who are listening to the podcast version, there is actually a YouTube as well associated with this, PodCaster. And yeah, I did a video about homebrew stuff that I've made, which everyone from my campaign and from yours and my future campaign also were banned from watching it, because a lot of stuff is stuff that they haven't encountered yet, or stuff that they have that they've not fully experienced. Like, you don't know, like, for example, I did Jackpot's Folly, the ring that one of the characters... And I told them the full effects table and everything that happens in the video, everything that could happen.
Sure.
So I said, like, no, you can't watch that. Because they've only experienced 2 of the effects, and there's lots.
I didn't see I didn't watch the video. It looked pretty cash from the thumbnail.
It was very cash.
It looked pretty cash.
Yeah, I was very tired because I recorded that. That was actually during the day when we recorded last week's episode. Because I was super tired from staying up really late the night before. So I was just lying on my sofa, just being like, "Hey, I'm just gonna talk here today, guys. I'm just gonna look at my phone and talk to the camera. I hope you guys are alright with that."
That's
fair. It was very chilled out. It was a cool video, and I didn't even get to finish it because my camera died before I got to the end. But it's fine. I got to the very last thing I was going to talk about, and it was like, yeah, cool, I got this really cool subclass idea. It's called this thing. Done. So I just put a thing up on the screen. Hey, my camera died, sorry. Let me know if you want to watch more. But yes, before we get into the actual talking points today, we're going to go through the comments. We remembered to do it today.
We did.
I even made a doc online. I've copied and pasted the comments in. I'm being more organised with this now, guys.
You love a Google Sheet, you?
I bloody love a Google Sheet,
You love a Google Sheet.
Mate.
I hate them.
Work has corrupted me because we do them all the time.
I hate them. Just use a Word doc and send it.
I don't have Word. I genuinely don't have Word on this laptop.
That's fair.
So I've got to use Google Docs. But anyway, let's read a few comments here. We've got a really lovely one that I saw from Misha Sumra, who said, not actually listened to the cast yet, but wanted to get in early and say thanks to Pete and Liam. Following PodCaster has helped me rediscover my love of D&D after an extended break from the game. Thusly inspired, I went out last night for a socially distanced game club and had an outstanding evening of unhealthy food, slightly dodgy ale, nerd chat, and Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It was absolutely the tonic I needed, as 2020 shows no signs of getting any better anytime soon. So thank you, PodCaster, for your inspiration. You've genuinely changed my life for the better.
Oh, I was about to say, that's pretty sweet. That's really sweet.
That's really, really nice.
That's really sweet.
Thank you, Misha, for that comment. I really appreciate it. Misha's commented on everything I've done on YouTube so far. I believe they're a Patreon backer for my work as well. So
good stuff.
Thank you so much, Misha. You're awesome.
Lovely.
Really appreciate it.
Lovely.
We've got one here from Mr. Wrestles talking about how I'm a bad roller. Saying, since Pete notoriously has bad luck with dice, have you had a de-hexing ritual? I've seen bad dice going through everything from public shaming to freezing overnight and shattering with a hammer.
Wow.
If it's so reoccurring, have you de-hexed the player? Same methods apply.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great. Maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Halloween's coming up.
That's
maybe
true,
we should
dude.
have some sort of ritual surrounding your dice.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily smash them, But
Yeah, because I wouldn't have any dice.
have some sort of ritual surrounding your dice.
Yeah.
And try and decurse them. Because
Yeah.
I'm convinced they're cursed.
See, the thing is, I roll terribly whenever we play. When I'm rolling stats for Deck of Many Characters, I roll the best stats in the world.
Maybe they have stage fright.
Maybe they do. Yeah.
Maybe
it's just whenever we're in a game.
Yeah, wherever we're in a game, whether you're player or DM, I can absolutely rely on you to have majority bad rolls.
Mm-hmm. Even in the last session that we played, as a rogue, I was hiding. And I was waiting for... I held my action for a certain thing to happen. As soon as that thing happened, I was like, cool, I'm firing my crossbow. Cool, I get advantage, I'm hidden. That's great. I rolled a 1 and a 2. I was like, come on, man!
And as a rogue with alert, you often have initiatives of 13 to 15.
Yeah!
And your initiative's plus 9.
My initiative is plus 9, and I'm almost never the first one to move in combat.
Like 13 to 15. You're always beaten by the sorcerer.
Yeah!
Who goes first so often.
It's so annoying.
The sorcerer always goes first.
I know, it's bonkers. But yes, we shall look into de-hexing me or the dice, one of the two.
I like that idea.
We've got another one from Jesse Woodring here talking about the lot of the talking points from last week, saying encumbrance, I think, is one of the most skipped rules in the game.
It's just not fun.
While it is realistic, it can seriously bog down a game.
Yeah.
I agree. And then said, I really like breaking the story hooks into basic categories. It makes choosing a starting point for a story so much easier. Yep. Agreed. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say last week about the 6 categories, and you just roll. Also gave us some suggestions for the Deck of Many Characters, because we said for last week, for our recurring segment at the end of the show where we make a character, we want to have a challenge associated with the backstory.
Damn, I didn't think of that at all when I made this character just now.
Mine is not linked to that in any way, shape, or form, the one I've made. That's just a challenge for us that's on the spot.
That's not going to help you at all.
Yeah,
or
no.
me.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
It's going to be awful. So we'll get to those later on, because we haven't decided what that challenge is actually going to be. We're going to decide that live on air later on in the podcast, so stick around for that.
Get your dice ready, boy.
Oh yeah, but for now, let's get into some talking points, and we're going to roll for it to see who goes first.
I want you to win.
Okay, let me grab a random d20. Let's go for this one.
I want you to win, because we keep on speaking about my point first.
Right. You roll first.
Oh, I roll first? Yeah, because you always roll first.
I always roll first.
Oh, it's a 5. Okay.
5? Okay.
You got a good chance.
Swear to God.
You got a good chance.
Natural 20!
Well done.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's the going first curse.
That's what it is.
Maybe it's the going first curse.
It's the going first curse.
We'll try it with deck later on.
Yes, alright, yeah, we'll try it later on. And I really hope that at some point in this podcast, when we've done it for like a year, someone will come in the comments and be like, here's the amount of times that Pete won in the roll-off.
Oh, right.
Here's the amount of times that Liam won in the roll-off.
I'm off to a strong start.
You are.
What episode is this now?
6.
6. I might genuinely be like 9-1 in the lead.
Yeah.
I might be like 9-1.
I think I've gone first twice overall, including talking points and Deck of Many
Characters.
Yeah,
that's 9. Yeah, because we do 2 rolls a podcast.
Yeah, a podcast. God. Anyway,
your point.
Yes,
you go first.
Talking point that I would like to bring to the table today. Something that I think might be really interesting for us, and hopefully might be able to help some people out there. As a dungeon master, what to do when you make mistakes?
Ooh.
Because I've done it a lot.
Sure.
Where you're running an encounter, you forget an ability that the creature has. Say it has like magic resistance, and you forget it's supposed to have advantage on saving throws and things like that. Or could be something slightly bigger, like you get to a city and someone says, "Oh, do I know anyone in the local vicinity?" You go, "No, this is completely unfamiliar to you." And then like half an hour later, you'd be like, "Oh, damn it. They do know someone. I forgot to mention it."
Yeah.
Damn. What do you normally do to try and cover it? Are you more of an upfront like, "Hey guys, sorry, I messed up. This is what I was supposed to do," or do you try and weave that into your own story? Do you try and play it off narratively? Like what? I'm sure there's a sliding scale depending on what the thing is.
Sure.
But like, what different reactions do you have to different things? And also, something that might be fun,
go on.
Tell me some mistakes you made, because I probably won't know.
See,
like, what ones have you covered from the players?
See, I'm a weaver. I thrive on ad-lib and make stuff up on the fly, and I love it. I love just being like Boom. Didn't think of that before, but it's happening now.
Yep.
So I'm
rolling with the punches.
Yeah, I'm absolutely a weaver when it comes to those kind of things. What was one that happened a while back? There was one that happened right at the start of the campaign with us when you guys were fighting your first boss fight. You guys were fighting a Displacer Beast and it absolutely should have killed you.
Yeah, it should.
You should have died in session... Like, your character should have died in session 3.
Yep.
Because he was supposed to make 2 attacks and I was only ever doing 1. And you got knocked down to, I think... Your HP
was low.
Your HP couldn't have been any higher than like
2 or 3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
single digits.
Your HP couldn't have been any higher than 12 or whatever because you don't have a great con and you're a rogue.
Plus 0.
Yeah, so your HP would have been
like 20 something, if that. At level 3.
Oh yeah, we started at level 3, didn't we?
Yeah.
So your HP would have been about 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got knocked down to like 4 HP, and I just didn't do the extra attacks.
Yep. Which was entirely my own fault.
And it was something
I was rushing into battle, which was not what I should do.
And that was something at the end where I was just like, all right, well, you lived because I messed up. That was one that I just completely went like, I messed up. Oh well. Yep. It wasn't like a thing. I didn't try and like punish you later on. I didn't put you in a scenario where you could die later on because that wouldn't have been fair. But there have been times where someone has an ability and then later on, like during the fight, I'll just be like, and now I'll start using it because I remember. One such ability was the fight you had against the elite Drow elf that had a name that I slightly altered. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Ooh, I want to say it's like Kalishtar or something
like that. Yeah, it's Narifra's brother. Or
yes.
Narifra's like some relation. I can't. It may have been brother.
Not Kalishtar because that's a race, but it's something like that.
But yeah, he had an ability where he was supposed to regen a certain amount of health per round. I completely forgot that. So in the end, I just gave him I just popped him back up. Like, you killed him once, and I was just like, and he comes back.
Yes.
So I was just like, okay, well, I haven't done the regen, so instead, they have to kill him twice.
Yep.
And I was like, that's a good balance. And it didn't hurt the encounter. I was looking at everyone's HP, and I was like, I'm not going to kill anyone because he comes back with 1 HP. It's 1 against 4.
Yeah.
So they, like, even if he knocked one of you unconscious when he came back up, and then the rest of you just killed him. Yeah. And I was like, it's not going to do anything. It's just made it a little bit more standards, and it just sort of covered up the one mistake I made with that one. And
it's not crazy to think of that ability like that's a thing that half-orcs get.
Exactly.
You just get it. So we were just like, oh, he's got that ability. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
And he had slight barbarian abilities in of himself. Like I said, he was raging and like he was doing some extra damage because I gave him brute as well.
Yes.
So it wasn't like a completely out of the ordinary. And it's not only been in encounters; it's been like social encounters as well. Like social encounters have definitely been times where I've been portraying someone, pretending to be someone, as with the job role, and there's a piece of information that I go like, I should have told them that. That was absolutely the whole reason they were talking to that person.
Yep.
Because they didn't give him that piece of information. Guess I'll have to give it to him another way.
Yep.
And I just have to make it up.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. There's one that happened in my campaign very, very, very early on. After you guys kind of did your first sort of mini arc, after the Marble House. You guys got a folding boat.
We did.
And as part of the loot of that marble house, you were supposed to find a note that was left behind saying that it was like some sort of correspondence that you were supposed to find. It was supposed to lead you down the next arc of the journey. Totally forgot to give you guys... I was so busy giving you guys the treasure and thinking about that I totally forgot I was supposed to give you guys the note as well.
Yeah.
So then I was like, crap. They don't have a story hook right now.
I remember this.
They're just done at this point. I was like, oh no! So I was like, fine. What have they got? They've got a folding boat. It can be in the boat.
Yeah,
sure.
I remember that now.
That can be in the boat.
I remember
not a problem.
That being in the boat.
And then you guys never said the bloody command word to make the boat happen. So I made the NPC say it for you, just so the boat could unfold.
Well, we were in the woods.
It's when you came back and you showed him this little like box, because you guys didn't know at that point, I don't think, that it was a folding boat. All you'd seen was there were words that were inscribed along the side of this box that were the command words. All I needed one of you to do was say the word out loud and it would happen.
Yeah.
But you guys didn't. You gave it back to the guy who told you to go find his kidnapped daughter.
Mm-hmm.
For context, you guys had seen her, but then she'd been teleported away along with the house, seemingly. The house had vanished. So you guys had... all you got left was this little box and stuff. So you gave it to this father and just said, we could find this. And two of the characters in the original party that have since died were goofballs. They were idiots. So they were joking around, having a good time, and the NPC was not having any of it because his daughter was still missing. Yeah. So he took the box from them, like threw it on the ground, and just shouted one of the words that was on the side of it. I don't care about whatever this says, the whatever, and said the word. And that's how the boat sprang out, and that's how you guys saw the note that was on the inside. It was a really convoluted way just to try and give you a story here. But I was like, this is really crucial information, guys.
Yeah, no, it does happen. I mean, we have so much to remember when we DM, like so much, and particularly on creature stat blocks, it's very easy. If you haven't seen a creature stat block, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, it's usually broken out into, you have the stats, you have the challenge rating, you have the experience, you have like languages if it knows that, saving throws, then it has like a little blurb sometimes, it'll have like features, and then it'll have actions.
Yes.
It's really easy during combat to just be like, actions.
Yes.
And you only look at the actions, and then you briefly look up to features, and then it'll say something like, oh yeah, every time they make a melee attack, they're grappled. And it's like, balls, I should have looked at that. That would have changed everything. And that's not the kind of thing you can just start doing.
Yes.
Like, unless, I have thought about this, unless it's a sentient being, like one that has actual intelligence.
Yes.
I haven't done this, but it's something I have prepped in my head. Where they could do, say, because like, if you've forgotten something, chances are you're like partway through the battle. Very easy, just a tip as well for you guys, very easy. If it's a creature that speaks common and is sentient and has some level of intelligence, could easily just say they were holding back. And like, now that they've done a certain amount of damage to whoever they're fighting, is just like, all right, now I'm going to go full in. I'm going full force now. I'm going to start using everything I got. And then that can explain the sudden, like, why can they suddenly do this now?
Yes.
It's like they were holding back.
It's like in any like video game boss battle ever. It's like, now it's the second phase.
Yeah, basically. Stuff like that works perfectly. Or another one for social encounters, if there was supposed to be a piece of information someone was supposed to get through a person, if they're of note worth or if they have means, have a messenger deliver a message. Yeah. Or if it's possible, there's a very useful spell called sending.
Yeah.
And there's a very useful item called sending stones. Even if you don't have sending, if you give a couple of them, or if you just say the party has them.
Yeah.
Quite easy.
Yeah.
Quite easy to just send someone a message later on. It's perfectly within the world of magic.
And also, going back to a previous episode of War PodCaster, you can have stuff happen just because magic.
Yeah,
you can have them just contact them.
That's true.
And just say, suddenly your vision goes dark and you see an image, the illusion takes your mind of their figure in your head. Like, it can just happen, because you can do that. I've even done that in my campaign. I had a guy who essentially... in fact, I'm not going to say because I don't remember how much of his backstory's come out yet.
Okay.
You guys are essentially convinced that he's a cop. Essentially, a wizard cop.
Yeah, he's part of the wizard police. Yeah.
Part of the wizard police. His boss, essentially, contacted him. Really long conversation style. Definitely over the 25-word limit of sending. I just said that you guys are stopping for some food on this journey that you're making, and suddenly your vision goes dark. The vision of your boss appears in your mind, and you chat to him for a bit.
Yeah.
There you go. Why? I don't know. Magic. I want to chat to him. I want him to have a piece of information. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes happen. Yeah. And you can easily try and talk your way out of it. But if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world.
Totally. That was the bit that I really should have led with, is that mistakes are going to happen all the time. As a DM, it's just going to happen. Like, it's from the amount of stuff we have to keep track of, it's impossible to get everything right 100% of the time. Even the best DMs in the world. I mean, Matt Mercer quite frequently just says, I always make mistakes.
Yeah.
But one of the best things that I wanted to try and talk about was, like we mentioned before, trying to weave it back in. Because the players don't know you've made a mistake until you say, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
They don't know it's a mistake. They can't see what you're seeing. They don't have the stats. And even if your players are rules lawyers and they say, well, they shouldn't be able to do that because I've read the rules, you can be like, well, I homebrewed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my favourite one.
Yeah.
Just changed it.
I changed it because I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, especially when it comes to stuff like story hooks that you thought the players would take, it's not necessarily a mistake, but something that you want to cover where you're improving hard and you're like, oh, I thought they'd go this direction and they've gone somewhere else, and you're like struggling to think of what to do. There's a lot of stuff you can just move that would have been in this direction and now can be in the direction they're going.
I would go back to the encounter I already spoke about.
Yep.
When you faced the drow elf. Mm-hmm. That was absolutely supposed to happen in the one direction you went. It was literally a case of you guys can go north or you can go east. Mm-hmm. And I really expected you guys to go north. Because north was a big, like, carnival party, gladiators fighting in honour of your dead friend.
Yeah.
And going to the east was a boring meeting with the gods who didn't like you.
Yeah.
And you guys went east because you followed your head instead of your heart.
Because we were like, well, the gods need... It's the gods.
No, absolutely.
Speak to them.
If I wanted you guys to go north, I would have only given you that option.
Yeah,
But I gave you the options. So I was like, oh, I didn't really plan for them to go east because I really didn't think they would. Oh, well, I'll take the encounter they would have got in the north and put it in the east and just changed it. Like, it was really just going to be... It was going to be like... Because he was on his way to Coliseum, which is the northern town.
Yep.
To be part of the Cataclysm event that's happened in my world.
Yes.
Instead, I just moved him to the east and said, like, oh, he's on his way to meet up some forces to create some unrest in Romulus, so that the Cataclysm can go off without a hitch.
Yeah.
And just completely change that up, and all that happened within the space of like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Because it like I said, I had no idea that you guys were going to go that way. When you guys said, "Oh, we're going east," then I was like, "Ooh, okay, move." Just shifted it completely. Like the whole encounter was still the same. You guys met him, traveled with him for a few days. He didn't earn your trust, but you guys kind of was just like, all right, well maybe he's all right.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a thing if you didn't trust him, but it's not like he was buddy.
Yeah.
And that was the whole encounter, and I was just like, they're gonna fight him eventually.
Yep. And then you had to improvise that, and leaning off what we said before about magic, because magic, you had the
people teleporting in,
Midas touch teleport in.
Yeah, because I expected you to be at the Coliseum with him.
Yeah,
made a whole deadly encounter there that you was gonna have to fight with Midas touch for it.
Yeah,
and it was gonna be a whole thing of like one member of Midas touch comes in, and then they have to bugger off, and then the next one comes in. It's gonna be a whole thing of that, and just didn't happen.
No. Plans change, man. Plans change.
I think another funny one, not necessarily a mistake. It is it's more of a DM mistake, but it didn't have an effect on battle, social, anything. It was more a mistake I made, and I was very glad didn't have consequence. Very recently, you guys went to a town.
Yep.
You went to Chronopolis.
We did.
And you went to the tavern.
We did.
And I said there was a gnome woman sitting in the corner watching you guys.
Yeah.
Like, she was just watching you guys, and like... She was giving, like, she was like looking around, and like she was just having her drink, but she kept on looking at you. And then one of you caught her eye, and then she sort of gave you a smirk.
Right.
I had no plans. I had 0 plans. I have no idea. I have 0 idea why I put her there.
Because you like chaos.
I had no idea why I put her there. I just started like word vomiting her.
Yeah.
And like just being like, yeah, there's no woman there. Yeah, she's looking at you. Yeah, she smiles at you.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't talk to her. And afterwards I was like, thank Christ. I have no idea why she was doing that.
Dude. Exactly the same thing has happened before.
Like, why did I do this?
It's happened before. You guys were in a town, Moonforest. And you were about to leave to head on up north to the city. And you said, oh, is there anyone else like unusual in the town? I was like, yes, there is. Oh, why did I say that? No, I don't know. I was like, yeah, there's an elf man. He's traveling southward.
Yeah.
And you guys had a whole talk with him, and you guys are like, yeah, we're going to jot his name down. He's going to be really important later. And I was like, nah, he's not.
It was so, it just happens. Sometimes mistakes can happen in many forms, and like sometimes your creativity can get ahead of you, and your tunnel vision can get the better of you.
Absolutely.
But hey, as long as the session's good.
Totally. Yeah, that's the main thing. The guys don't know you've made a mistake, and even if you just put your hands up and say, guys, I made a mistake, this is what should have happened, let's retroactively say this happened. Cool, let's move on. Everyone's still having fun. No harm, no foul. It's totally okay to just say you've made a mistake. If you want to try and weave it into the story, also awesome. Then the players will have no idea, and you look like the coolest DM in the world. Also fine.
Yeah.
It's just as long as everyone's having fun, that's the main thing.
I think outside of a player death that may come from a mistake. Outside of a player death, everything else can be fixed.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like player death, you can also fix in a way, but it might take a bit more of a hodgepodge job.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just like I forgot this, or you guys didn't pick this up, or you guys didn't do this, you can steer them back, or you can, like you said, retroactively sort of like, okay, this happened, or this is going to happen now.
Yeah, totally. And we'll just end off on one of the funniest mistakes I think I've made, which is you guys were fighting water elementals.
Oh,
and you guys absolutely bodied these elementals.
Pasted them, and
you destroyed them.
And I remember saying to you, I was like, that was really easy.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that shouldn't have been easy.
That should not have been that easy.
We'd already had a fight that day.
Yep.
And we was chasing someone.
Uh-huh.
And we was all about 2/3 health. So I was like, man, I really expected us to like have some struggles during that. And I was expecting I was going to have to do a lot of healing and everything. We just battered them.
Do you know why you battered them?
Go on.
Because I forgot that water elementals can't be knocked prone.
Yeah, we just knocked it.
You knocked a water elemental prone. Somehow, I had to describe a water elemental falling prone, which was weird.
I think you said it just turned into a puddle, and then the
it was like
punched the puddles.
It was just like it was a weird like mess of water that was just flowing over itself on the floor, trying to get back to its feet, though it doesn't have feet.
That's what happens. You have open-handed monks, man. They just like trip people over with flurry of blows, and then that's it. They just punch in the floor.
Punching the floor,
punching
man.
The puddles.
Punch the floor. Yeah, it was. That was really weird. And then afterwards, I was looking back because again, that was tunnel vision on the actions. Totally forgot to look at like the resistances and the immunities, which is way up at the top of the stat block.
Yeah, you missed those ones so much.
I just missed like it can't be knocked prone. I was like,
yeah, man, it's so easy to miss. It's so easy to miss that top of the stat block.
And of course, it's so obvious when you see afterwards. Like, of course they can't be knocked prone.
Yeah, of course.
You moron.
Super obvious afterwards.
Yeah, but oh well. Basically, summarize. Final point. If you're a DM, don't stress about making mistakes, because they're going to happen. Either you can weave them back into your story, or the players won't be any the wiser. It's fine. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't sweat about it.
Yeah,
they
pretty
happen.
much. My point.
Over to you.
Yeah, my point. Something that I've seen a few people frown on. It's a little thing that I saw a few people like say on D&D Twitter and been like, oh man, people don't like this sometimes. And in my mind, I can't think why. I know you won't know why either. But in my mind, I'm trying to put this topic out in a way that maybe we can think of a reason why people don't like it as well.
Yeah.
Basically, taking a character, briefly what I touched on in at the start of the podcast, taking a character, like from a TV show, anime, video game, and just basically making them into like a D&D character, and just using that as inspiration.
Yeah.
People don't like that. Some people don't like that.
I really like that. I love having the inspiration to try and create a character that you love, but playing them in D&D. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. If I'm going to play devil's advocate, I think I could see people getting frustrated that they're not doing their own original character.
That's what I think as well, yeah.
And I think it comes down to a little bit of almost elitism, of people being like, you need to play D&D the right way.
Yeah.
And that's not the right way. You've not made your own character.
That's what I think as well. I think there's a lot of like thought process behind it that's like, I don't know, pick a character from something. I don't know, if you wanted to play a wizard that's Harry Potter. And you're like,
he has a wand and round glasses and a scar on his forehead.
You go like, he's like 16. It's like his parents died when he was younger, killed by a dark wizard. He went to wizarding school.
Yeah,
carries around a wand, has like an owl familiar.
Yeah,
that's a wizard.
Yeah,
but it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
and you could call your character Harry.
Yeah, totally.
But some people would be like, you can't do that. That's just Harry Potter. You've made Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it.
No.
I suppose I think as long as you can make it work in the world, as long as the character backstory doesn't break the world, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna. It's not like. It's not like I'm good. It's not like we're playing D&D Harry Potter. You're not gonna go through Prisoner of Azkaban. Like, I'm not gonna. You're not. It's not gonna be a Goblet of Fire arc.
Yeah.
You're just Harry Potter in my world.
Exactly.
I don't care if you're Harry Potter in my world.
It's still gonna be your world.
Yeah, whatever. You're not gonna fight Voldemort on the bridge. He might. He might send an assassin after you.
Yeah. Exactly.
He might have multi-classed into barbarian. He just batters the crap out of you with a great hammer.
That's a really weird ending to Harry Potter.
Exactly.
Harry comes in, Expelliarmus. He just comes in with an axe.
Wham! Wham! Smite! Yeah.
Imagine that.
I've done it before with some of my characters. Mm-hmm. One of my upcoming characters in a campaign that we keep on talking about to play soon. Because once your campaign finishes, we're going to hand over some DM reins to one of our frequent players.
A consummate forever player, it seems.
Yeah.
He's going to be stepping into the DM seat.
Exactly. He plays many campaigns and has never DM'd one. I think he plays in five campaigns.
Four or five.
He plays D&D. He plays D&D for 4 nights a week at least.
He's mental, in other words.
And he loves it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not like he loves it. He'd play every night if he got the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to be DMing soon. But my character for his campaign is absolutely, like, the design anyway, the actual look is just ripped from a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, it looks exactly like a TV character. And I was just like, I just want to design it off that.
Yep.
Like, I literally just want to make a character that looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a character that fits that look.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
it's got like similar name, used the same weapon. I was like, it fits.
Yeah.
But it's not harming anyone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Story's different.
Yeah. And the thing is, even if the story wasn't different, who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Like, whatever. I'll never understand the people that say you're playing D&D wrong. It's like my game of it's my game of make believe. You can't tell me what I make believing is wrong.
I think another thing to touch on that's quite funny when you think of like, oh man, people are like, you can't just make Naruto. You can't do that. Why would you do that? It'd be like, how many times have you made Legolas? How many times?
I was literally just about to come on to that.
How many times have you made Legolas or Aragorn?
Yeah.
Or like, how many times have you thought about it and been like, that's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a character like Legolas. Yeah, guess what? You just done the thing you don't like.
Literally, all of the stereotypes in D&D, all of the classic tropes of D&D are fantasy tropes for a reason. They come from characters.
They come from
that
something
people have made.
Yeah, they come from something.
And sorry to burst your bubble, everyone that's listening and has ever played D&D, none of your characters are original. They are all ripped from different influences that you have. So whether it's part of this, and part of this other thing to create this new original thing, sure, whatever, you've ripped from something to come up with your own ideas. I'm sorry, but nothing is original anymore.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. So if you just say this is a completely original character, you're a liar. And if people want to rip from something entirely and just say, cool, I'm going to play this, fine. That's what everyone does.
I think it helps. I think it helps immensely. If you was to take, again, go back to Naruto or whatever, if you wanted to make a Naruto-based character, you're a sorcerer.
Sure.
And you're a rogue.
Cool.
So you're a ninja.
Yep.
And you've got jujitsu magic.
Cool.
But you have you have a primordial elemental being sealed inside you that wants to get out, doesn't like it. And there are people who know it's inside you, and they want the secrets of how you're managing to live with this elemental inside you that gives you your magic powers. But you're also training your body because you don't want to just rely on these magic powers themselves. That's Naruto. Yeah, but that's a D&D character.
Yeah, sounds like a really fun D&D character. Sounds really cool.
Yeah, and then like your character knows primordial, so it can talk to you.
Yeah,
and like it has influence on you, and you can pick up what's that feat? What's the feat called? Elemental...
Which one?
Elemental Adaptist or whatever it is.
Oh, Elemental Adapt, yeah.
Yeah, Elemental Adapt. So, you get really good. If you have a fire elemental sealed inside you, guess what? You can pick up the feat Elemental Adapt, and your fire damage is stronger because you have something sealed inside you.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. And literally, one of the homebrew subclasses that I've been working on, that I've literally just finished in the last couple days, is reworking Way of the Four Elements to be more like Avatar.
Way of the Four Elements is Avatar.
It's just Avatar!
And Avatar's not original either.
No.
So it comes from something. Way of the Four Elements is Avatar. There's no other way around that. Way of the Four Elements is Avatar.
It just is. And I'm reworking it to make it more like Avatar.
Yeah.
It's just... Oh god, I'm getting worked up. I genuinely will never understand the people that don't get on board with it. I don't understand.
Like, swashbucklers like any pirate in any pirate film you've watched.
It's a pirate. Yeah. It's just a pirate.
Fancy footwork, gets charisma saves, can talk down people.
It's literally Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, it's just any pirate you can think of. Mastermind rogue, it's Sherlock. They pretty much have a mind palace.
Oh man,
it's like anything like that. It's you just think if you just look at every D&D class, guarantee you could be like, that's just that. Yeah, like, I'm sure there's someone somewhere that'd be like, that's just that.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I'll never understand it. Make the characters you want. They're really fun, I promise. Just have fun with it. Yeah. If you're having fun, and if your players and your DMs and everyone around you is having fun, then nothing is wrong. You're having fun playing the game. That's the point.
Exactly.
That's the point of the game. Have fun.
Exactly. But I just got a bit tired of seeing it. I got a bit tired of seeing people being like, no, you can't just make a character based off Ichigo from Bleach. Like, why not? He's cool. Yeah. He's the main character. He has a sword. He has like demon magic.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Why the hell not?
Why would I not want a character like that? It sounds awesome.
Oh, man. Making someone from Dragon Prince. They're all really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
Yeah, make an elf rogue woman.
Yeah.
Who gets a dodgy hand at some point and then fixes it.
Well, real quick, speaking of Dragon Prince.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, I know you haven't. I'd much prefer it if you don't watch it. Because I'm going to take so much from that in my future campaigns. Right. There's going to be so many things I'm just going to rip straight from it. And just be like, this thing is really cool. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, works from a DM perspective as well. Just take things from campaigns.
Absolutely.
We've both been playing Hades.
Yeah, we have.
I would be insane to not steal some stuff from Hades for my campaign.
Dude.
That'd be insane.
I was going to mention this.
You guys are literally going to Styx next. You're literally going there next.
I was going to mention this in the intro because both of us have been playing a lot of Hades lately. Amazing game. You should totally go and buy it.
Such a great game.
Awesome game. But obviously the point of Hades is it's all taking place in like Greek mythology and things like that, and you're delving into or trying to escape the underworld. That's the whole point of the game. And your campaign takes place with the Greek pantheon, and we're on our way to Styx. It's such a perfect crossover.
I'd be insane to not look at some bits and be like, of course, I'm taking that. It's just giving me like a plethora of new lore, and new things to put in.
Yeah, and it's in obviously there's all the research in the world can be done on the Greek mythology. There's history out the wazoo about Greek mythology.
Sometimes conflicting.
Yeah, exactly. And this just puts it in a new, interesting and fun perspective for you to learn from. Basically. Where you can just rip. You can be like, oh, that's cool the way these two gods interact. Or like this cool bit of dialogue between them.
Basically.
Or this weapon's cool. Or this design of this background is really rad. Like, whatever. Like, there's so much. And if you rip straight from it and you'd be like, cool, you guys are going to go going down the River of Flames in Asphodel right now. I'd be like, that's awesome!
There's been... I've shown you guys what some of the gods look like. I wish I didn't, because I wish they now look like that.
The designs in the games are just better.
Yeah, they're just, mate. But yeah, make characters you want.
Yeah.
Take inspiration from wherever you want. Mm-hmm. If you want to make Harry Potter, if you want to make Ichigo, if you want to make whoever, make whoever you want.
Just make it.
Yeah, just have fun.
Literally.
Have fun. And if someone says you can't have fun,
they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're just wrong.
Yeah.
No easy way to say it. They're just wrong.
Cool.
Get rid of our elitism in D&D. Cool. Thank you very much. But now let's move on to the final segment of the show. Well,
you have to pick
sort of final.
You have to pick a challenge.
I know. Going on to the deck of many characters, where both of us have created a character using D&D Beyond. Please sponsor us, D&D Beyond. By the way, just real quick, I did want to say there was a nice comment I saw from Frankie, aka Quilava Fireblast.
Oh yes.
Said they love Jerry the Arsonist.
Ah, Jerry, what a lad.
They just said. They just love every time they come up.
Yeah, Jerry's great.
Just great.
Jerry's great.
And I've actually got a couple of tweets off Frankie, just saying, you guys didn't leave a comment for me to do. And I was like, well, you tweeted me this, so that's proof enough, I guess.
That counts, well done.
But yes, deck of many characters. We both created a character on D&D Beyond. Sponsor us, please. And we then in turn will explain the character to the other person, their stats, class, race, etc. And then that person then has a minute to come up with a backstory and how we'd roleplay that character on the fly.
All right.
And for potential challenges for this week, because we asked you guys last week to leave us some challenges that we could do to potentially make it a little bit harder for us. So what have we got to include in this backstory? So we've got 2 suggestions here from Frankie, the aforementioned Frankie, saying, my suggestion is that your next backstory must involve 2 chickens. That was your suggestion off last week as well.
Yeah.
But the character cannot directly harm the 2 chickens.
Okay.
Okay. It's either that, or, alternatively, the next backstory must involve Jerry the Arsonist in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, Jerry's a tough one to fit in.
It is, yeah.
He's such a chaotic individual.
So we'll say the 2 chickens is the first suggestion. We're going to roll for it, don't worry.
Jerry's such a difficult man.
Really. Complex, so many layers to him, to his character. So potentially one from Frankie doing the 2 chickens, but the character can't harm them.
Yeah.
Misha Sumra says, as far as the deck of many characters goes, the challenge I propose is that the backstory has to feature at least one very significant explosion. Mundane or magical, accidental or intentional, for good or ill, whatever you like. Anything goes, as long as it goes boom.
Misha's comment was the only one I saw. And when I was thinking up a backstory, that's the only thing. I was like, damn, I don't know how... I made my character, I was like, I don't know how the explosion comes out of this one.
Nah, it's fine. We got one here from Maxman475 that said, create a backstory using the Family Guardian's disapproval of your path in life.
Okay.
It's pretty similar to what I did last week, I believe.
For your actual backstory.
Yes.
The actual backstory of your character, not the made-up one.
Oh, right.
Your because I made the one where they lived in the halfling village.
Yes.
Or that was my one for your character, where they had the halfling village and they were dual wielding, and then your actual backstory for them was the father was disapproving.
Yes, exactly that. Yes. And then final one from Jesse Woodring said, for the deck of many characters, this was following on from the comment we read at the top of the show, for the deck of many characters, add at least one major flaw to the character, i.e. a rogue that is so enamored with his own skills that he can't keep from bragging about his accomplishments, even if what he has done could get him in serious trouble. Or, for something sillier, explain why every dog the character meets humps his leg incessantly.
I really like both of those.
Both of them are really good.
I really like both of those.
For very different reasons, but both of them are really good.
Yeah, we should do a flaws thing at some. We should talk about flaws and
We should
talk about flaws at some point.
Sounds like a whole talking point.
Yeah, because that's a whole part of the character sheet that often gets overlooked is flaws, and it can really do well for your character. Yeah, but we could talk about that for like 20 minutes.
All right, which one of the 2 are we picking out of those 2 from Jesse as potential?
Let's go with flaws first.
Flaws? All right.
Go flaws.
So we've got a major flaw. We've got Family Guardian's disapproval of your path in life.
Yeah.
We've got a significant explosion.
Or 2 chickens.
Or 2 chickens that the character can't harm.
Cool.
And no, in that order, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, no, the opposite order.
Well, whatever.
Because you read it backwards on the sheet.
But the people listening to it have read it in that... whatever.
No, because...
I missed my dice tray.
Oh, God.
It's 2.
2.
So it's a significant explosion if we're going 1 to 4 that way.
We are. That's the way it is on the sheet.
That's the way it is on the sheet. So yes, for Amisha Sumra, a significant explosion, mundane or magical, accidental or intentional, for good or ill. Yeah, we need to just roll for
Before
this
you put
now.
it away.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to roll second again.
You are. Different dice.
Here we go.
11.
11.
Odds
beatable.
are in my favour.
It's beatable.
The odds are in my favour.
Natural 20 again!
20 again!
What is going on?
2 20s.
2 20s in one night.
That's an 8.
Hey, it moved. It moved
That's
afterwards.
An 8. Not
2
bad.
20s in one night.
Alright, I have to go first this time.
We've got to remember, episode 6
is
the episode where I roll 2 natural 20s.
I sack off Harlia. She's still in my notes.
Harlia.
God. I'm not used to going first. I normally have a little while to get my creative juices flowing.
But now, no such luxury.
Let's see if I can keep it up.
Okay, so
let's go.
Also, for listeners, I rolled these stats.
Oh yeah, tell them the total.
They're absurd.
Tell them the total.
Total of rolled stats.
Bearing in mind the max is 120. It would be, wouldn't it? 20, 20,
so
6 stats, 20 each.
No, it'd be 18 each for rolling. For just
for rolling.
Yeah,
sorry,
just for rolling.
Rolling. Yes.
So it'd be 18 by 6, whatever that is.
Yeah. That is
60 to 8.
That's 108.
108 is the maximum. Total stats I got on my rolls, 92.
Yeah, so you are very close to max.
Oh, crazy rolls I got for this. I'm rolling good when we're not playing D&D.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
It's a good Monday.
Okay, are you ready for some info on this character?
I'm ready.
Okay. Your name
My name
is Kevzaren.
Kev Zarden.
Zaren.
Oh, Zaren.
With an R.
Kev Zaren. Got
Yes. You are a Goliath.
it. Okay.
You are a Warlock.
Okay.
You have packed a Great Old One.
Okay.
Warlock.
Sure.
With Pact of the Blade.
Okay. Pact Blade.
Yeah.
Sure.
Some stats.
Come on, hit me with them.
You have amazing Strength, Con, and Charisma.
What are my low ones? I can make a better character out of that.
You have
What's my lowest?
Amazing Strength, Con, and Charisma, and you have above average Dexterity, Intelligence, and Wisdom.
Dex, Intelligence, Wisdom, worse, but still good.
Worse, but above average.
Dex, Intelligence, Wisdom. Okay, sure.
Yeah, and your background is Folk Hero. Again. It's a very specific reason. I did change it as well.
Okay.
I believe that's everything. Unless you need anything else. Do you want proficiencies or anything?
Yeah, give me a couple skill proficiencies. What am I good at?
Yeah. You are good at animal handling.
Okay.
Athletics.
Okay.
Deception.
Okay.
Intimidation. And survival. That's Earthang.
Okay.
There's definitely a couple languages in there. They're probably not going to change anything.
I'll put them
but
in. Why not?
Throw them in
Let's
anyway.
see if I can get them in.
I can't find them. Never mind.
Never mind.
There was definitely some I put in, but never mind. Let me get out my timer.
Kevzaren.
Kevzaren. Timer. 1 minute. Here we go.
Okay, Kevzaren. He is a Goliath Warlock Great Old One, so he made a pact with the Great Old Ones. Actually, in fact, his family have a pact with the Great Old Ones. Like his immediate family, like mother, father, brother. They all made the pact with the Great Old Ones to basically to live for centuries. They never want to die, as per Goliath's like wanting to live forever kind of thing. Part of his pact was he was given the Pact of the Blade. They each have a different pact amongst themselves, so they each have a different aspect. They all worship the same Great Old One. After living for centuries, all of his stats have gotten really good. He's basically lived many years, so he's had a chance to train them all up. And he goes from town to town, basically being like this hero, this like crusader, trying to stop like all of these calamities and stuff. However, one day his family come to one of the towns he's actually competing in, and just like massive like fight that ends in this huge explosion.
Yeah.
And then basically he ends up losing as they team up on him 3-on-1, and his journey is to defeat them.
Wow. That was something right there. God, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the fact that you had like a familial pact.
Yeah.
It's quite unusual to have that. It's almost always like focused on the individual. But having like, a familial pact and them just being like engrossed in their own pact with this great old one. That's really cool.
The whole family made a pact to this one guy.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I really like that. So my backstory I made for this.
Hit me with it.
Does not involve an explosion. Sorry. Because I made it before we decided that, obviously. I made a little bit. I hope it's not too long. I got quite into this character. I hope it's not too long, but I'll read it.
Go for it.
Here we go. So, Kevzaren grew up in a Goliath tribe away from the majority of civilization. Possessing unnatural good looks, charm, strength, intelligence, and bravery, Kevzaren quickly rose through the ranks of his tribe into a position of power at a young age, where strength meant power. Kevzaren was popular and comfortable in his territory, until one day he stumbled upon a ritual taking place between mind flayers inside a mountain cave. Ooh. He could not fathom what these creatures were, or who they seemed to be worshipping, and he left wondering how much else of the world he didn't know about. Despite being comfortable with his tribe, Kevzaren grew increasingly frustrated in the following weeks and months, yearning to know more about who or what these creatures were. One day he decided he'd had enough, and after some careful planning, managed to fake his own death in order to escape the tribe. It was unheard of chiefs to retire early. Using this window, he fled, using his knack for cartography to map a course for more civilized lands. Upon reaching a large city, Kevzaren used his charm in order to obtain a job at a library, and began using all his free time to learn all he could about the world with a focus on the extraplanar. Eventually, he found what he'd been looking for, evidence of an ancient being beyond the scope of humanoid comprehension. Finding the records of where one of their relics was believed to have been most recently located, Kevzaren set out, trekking through a frozen tundra among other hazardous obstacles, but eventually coming upon one of the last remaining relics of this being, a sword buried within the ice and snow. After a while excavating the sword out, Kevzaren reached for the sword and grabbed it, being plunged into a vision of planes and worlds beyond anything he'd experienced before. After his vision, he returned to his work in the city, armed with the knowledge of this being's existence and how to use this power to learn more about it and himself.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I really liked it.
Pretty good.
I kind of got lost in
good.
it, and I was like, I know he's a Goliath. I know they'll be like in a tribe, I guess. They can find some in like great old ones, kind of alien vibe.
Yeah.
So like mind flayers, they sound kind of cool. And then it just went for the next thing. And I was like, oh man, this is really interesting actually.
Yeah.
I got carried away with that, but I really like it.
I like that one too, yeah.
Yeah. So it was weird because I originally had the background being a which one was it? It was something that didn't fit. It was an acolyte.
Okay.
Which just didn't fit with the story that I came up with. So I was like, let's change that. And I was like, do I want to do it as a sage? Or do I want to do folk hero? Because both of them kind of fit for different parts of their lives.
Yeah.
I went with folk hero because of the popularity that they had in their tribe when they were growing up. It's just really fun. I just
Spoiler,
like it.
my backstory isn't as well written as that.
Well, yeah, I spent a bit of time on it.
I know the key points of my backstory.
Wow, are they a monk?
I'll fill in the gaps.
Hey, key points.
I'll fill in the gaps as I go along.
Okay, right. Let me get some notes ready. Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with it.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, your name is Zelrora.
Zelrora. Okay.
Tabaxi.
Okay. This is not the first time I've been a Tabaxi, I don't think.
Multiclass.
Oh, God.
3 levels in Warlock.
Okay.
2 levels in Druid.
Okay.
Warlock.
Yep.
Great old one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Boon.
Yep.
Is Pact of the Tome.
Oh, God. It's the one I know the least about. Okay.
Druid is level 2.
Yep.
Druid Circle is Moon.
Okay.
Abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Very good Wisdom.
Okay.
Pretty good Charisma.
Yep.
And above average Dex. Everything else is like average-ish.
Average. Cool.
Background is Hermit.
Okay.
You know, Deep Speech.
Yep.
And a Primordial.
Wow. Okay. Right. Is that everything?
That is everything.
Okay. Let me grab a timer. Actually, no, you get a timer. I need to look at my notes.
Yeah, I will get a timer. 1 minute starting now.
Okay, so Zelrora, the Tabaxi, grew up in an isolated village away from civilization. Sound familiar? And they grew up. They were abandoned when they were a young child. They were unfortunately orphaned due to a large explosion, which killed their parents. They were unfortunately abandoned. They had to fend for themselves when they were very, very young, learning to appreciate nature as nature nurtured her. God, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
As nature nurtured her, she learned to appreciate nature through that. And as she grew stronger through living out in the wilds and the jungles and the forests, she stumbled upon an abandoned temple in the middle of this jungle, and as she explored through it, she managed to find at the very depths of this temple an old weathered book, and as she took it, she entered into a pact of the tome with an alien.
It wasn't bad.
It was getting there.
It wasn't bad.
It was getting there. I think if I had more time, I could have got into it a bit more.
I think this might be the closest you've come, or the closest either of us come
really?
to nailing a backstory.
Oh wow! Okay.
There was a couple of points there that I was like, that is exactly what I was thinking.
That's amazing. Yeah, I wanted to. I didn't lean too much on the deep speech and the primordial, but I was gonna hopefully get to it afterwards, but I ran out of time.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to focus on the hermit side of things.
Yeah.
Of them just being isolated and by themselves. But,
Uh-huh.
yeah. What did you have for it?
Cool. So Zelrora
Mm-hmm.
is sort of like is like what's the word for it? Like an archaeologist.
Okay.
Used to be like an archaeologist, but was basically sort of like disgraced from his profession for believing that the gods were having sort of like that the previous gods that weren't believed in as such had influence on creatures of the past. It's
Right.
sort of like he believes the ones I had in my mind was like Mayan gods.
Okay.
It was like Mayan gods were like the ones that created these beasts and like created parts of the world, and here's what I have to prove it. And basically his college was like, idiot, no, we worship Jesus.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he was disgraced by it. He was cast out of his college, and he had to go live out by himself. And he went out traveling to like these supposed Mayan sort of like temples and everything to prove his point. Went to a temple.
Hell yeah.
Found a tome.
Hell yeah.
Ended up going into a pact with one of these Mayan gods who he believes is one, but is actually something else.
Nice.
And then this god, essentially, when he presented his findings and said to him, was saying to him, I believe you've done this, this, and this. The god basically confirms it and said, yes, I did. Character instantly like enamored by this idea of being correct and hearing these tales from their patron of all of these different older creatures that they used to create. The patron gives them the powers to wild shape and transform into these old style creatures that they used to be able to, that they created. And
that's really good.
And so most of the creatures, or pretty much all of the beasts that the druid wild shapes into, are all either giant forms or dire forms or dinosaurs. They're all sort of like larger creatures or old creatures.
Yeah.
Sort of like stuff that you'd see in
times.
like prehistoric things.
Yeah.
So like giant octopus would be more like prehistoric time.
Yeah.
Or like dinosaur, obviously, or larger beasts.
Yeah. God, that's pretty fun. That's really, really interesting. I really like that. Just having the vindication of them being like, I was right. It's really cool, like character fuel.
Yeah.
For them to just like travel back to them and just be like, hey guys.
That's basically it. He'll be going back there, but then my thought process is because he believes it's like Shibalanke, which is a Mayan god of the moon, I believe, and jaguars. So,
sure.
But really, it's a different god that's posing as Shibalanke. And as he goes there to be like, look, proof, it's this person, this person, this person. And like gets a bit big-headed, gets a bit within himself kind of thing, and then he gets turned on, and then he has to potentially seek help from the supposed other gods that the college were like, no, idiot, we worship these ones. So he has to then go back to the college again and be like, can anyone help me? Can anyone help me, please?
Oh man, that's really cool. Yeah, that would be such a fun thing to explore. I love that. And being able to wild shape into ancient versions of creatures.
Yeah,
really,
so that was
really
my
fun.
thing, of being like turning into like, because there's a lot of like dinosaurs make quite a fair bit of the monster manual. Personally, I find it very hard to work dinosaurs into a story.
Yeah, mine. I had one time where I was like, you guys are fighting weird creatures that they ship in from the weirdest parts of the world. You guys can fight a Triceratops, that's fine.
I find it really difficult, but there's a lot of dinosaurs in there that range from the lowest of CR up to the highest beast CR there is, T-Rex.
Pretty high.
Well, the highest one that's not a named beast.
Yes.
But the highest common CR beast, the T-Rex.
Yep. Yeah, they're unusual for a fantasy setting.
Yeah, but
You don't normally think of dinosaurs when you think of Lord of the Rings.
But I wanted to give a reason. I was like, Great Old One probably would have been there for dinosaur times, so that probably makes sense for them to, part that knowledge onto the druid enough that they can turn into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, direwolves probably come from older times, so I imagine there used to be regular wolves that just evolved to be better.
Exactly,
or like, giant dinosaurs, giant direwolves. Everything was probably giant back then.
Yeah, exactly. And even you could homebrew some stuff.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, this is an ancient creature that you can turn into.
Yeah, I was thinking like the druid goes like kaiju with them, like transforms into like kaiju forms of the monsters kind of thing.
That would be amazing. If not a little broken, but super cool though.
Yeah. Interesting
concept. Be interesting to try and make that like balanced, but also really like unique and different and interesting.
Yes.
That'd be very fun. I love that. That was a good round of Deck of Many Characters.
It was a good round. Yeah, we done pretty well there.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, everyone who commented and left suggestions and stuff. If you want to leave more for next week, please do leave them. We'll read out your comments at the start of the episode, and we'll take your suggestions for Deck of Many Characters at the end. At some point, I don't know when, I'm sure at some point we'll get up like an email or something that people can email in if they're listening on the podcast version and not the YouTube version. We'll find a way that you guys can do it at some point. But for now, just head over to the YouTube version and comment on there for now. If you've listened all the way through to here...
I love that this is called the Cowment, by the way, just because it started off with cow.
It started off with cow.
It's now the Cowment.
It's now called a Cowment. So
I picked the last one.
You did herbs and spices.
Herbs and spices.
I did cow, you did herbs and spices, and then we forgot.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to here, I want you to comment with the word...
Look around the room.
Yep. Squash.
Squash!
Squash. Just comment with
Squash.
that, please. That would be great.
Good one.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. Just comment with the word squash. Or hide it somewhere in your comment.
Yeah,
You can say,
extra points if you can hide it in the comment.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. It's D&D.
Yeah, squash.
They squash their expectations.
Go for
Whatever. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, everyone. You can follow me on Twitter at Pete Quinnell, Liam at UnlawfulXL, for now, I guess.
No, it will be.
Sure, whatever. We'll see when you change it. Yeah, hypocrite. If you're listening on the podcast version, head on over to the YouTube as well. PodCaster. There's going to be more videos and content coming over there as well. Yeah, I don't think we have anything else to plug right now.
Nope.
So, thanks very much for listening, everyone. We love you very much.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.